Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, even the cruise lines that have restarted and have had no issues and things are going very smoothly, well, even they have been forced to shut down. That's right. Well, we all know that some cruise lines were forced, like P&O was about to start up their cruise ships and hopefully get going. They have been postponing and postponing over in Europe, getting started. But some of the cruise lines that have started, like MSC Cruises, the Grandioso, as well as Costa Cruise Lines, had started up and have been doing very well. They have had no spread, no big cases, no big outbreaks. The cruise ships are going well. The passengers on board are happy with the experience, and even the governments in the different countries were very happy with the results, saying that, all in all, this has been a very good experience and that they learned a lot by the protocols. But they have been forced now to cancel the next few weeks of cruising going into the holidays. And it's not because of any outbreaks or any safety things on the ship. Once again, it's all about the travel restrictions issued by the countries themselves. Italy is going into a lockdown, into travel restrictions. They don't want people traveling over the holidays, and they've issued no travel warnings, and that is including in some places just going from like province to province and things like that. At one point, for instance, in Australia, you had to stay within a certain amount of kilometers from where you lived. Unless you were working outside of that area, and you had to prove you were working outside that area. Otherwise, you had to stay in that area, and they had roadblocks all over the place stopping you from going in and out. Much like they do here in Canada, we had what we called the Atlantic Bubble, which was Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick were all in the Maritimes, and they had created a bubble where only people from those provinces could travel amongst each other because the cases were really, really low. Well, the cases started going up slightly in those provinces, and now they've pulled out of the bubble, and each province is restricting travel from other provinces. So if you're trying to start up, for instance, a cruise out of Halifax, you can, because now you only have Nova Scotians that can get there, and even their travel restrictions are huge, and it just makes it a logistical nightmare for the cruise lines. And that's exactly what's happening right now over in Italy. They are, once again, they don't want anyone traveling over the holidays. They don't want people going and visiting people, even though the numbers are on their way down slightly in that area the last couple weeks. They don't want doing the risk of everybody traveling all at once and just the numbers just skyrocket from there. It's kind of interesting to see what we're going to do here in North America. Yes, we've canceled our cruises right now up until March at the earliest, except for one cruise line. It's still available. You can still sail in January. Don't know how that's going to work, but right now, as far as I know, there are no huge travel restrictions in the United States for going, say, from Florida to California, New York to Texas. I don't, there might be individual places that you have to quarantine when you get there, but you can still drive, you can do this, and I don't know. I'm not from there. I don't know every individual state's travel restrictions, but as far as I know, it's nothing like what they're doing in Europe right now, and it kind of bodes not great for the cruise lines in this area, when cruise lines that have been running safely and have had no incidences for months now, and I mean months, not just a couple weeks, are still forced to shut down through no fault of their own just because of the situation in the countries where the governments are shutting down travel and locking down travel. And yeah, it was a smart decision, I think, from the cruise line's point of view to suspend everything till March, because there was no possible way January and February could roll out, especially when numbers are climbing like this. And we're going to the holidays and they're already telling people not to get together, not to celebrate holidays with anybody outside of your own family. In some places they say you have, you create your own little bubble that you always interact with only these 2 or 3 households, and you can spend Christmas with them if you want, but nobody else. And it's hard to tell because it depends on where you live. It really, really does. The restrictions are up and down and all over the place coming up. We have kids in school here in Ontario, and now in some parts of Ontario, not all, just parts of Ontario, if your kid gets a runny nose, you're told you have to stay home automatically for 10 days, and your parents have to not go into work, and any kids that are in that household as well also can't go to school for 10 days. Not even if you don't even have to get tested, you don't have to get positive or anything like that. They're just telling you have to stay home, even with any symptoms whatsoever, including a runny nose. I mean, it's winter here in Canada. Every second kid has a runny nose. So it's it's going to be an interesting holiday to see what happens in your state, in my state. And the cruise lines, unfortunately, got shut down, even though they're doing well and through no fault of their own. It's not a great sign, but they're still planning to start up again in January. Let's hope they're allowed to, and hope restrictions once again start easing after the holidays, and these cruise lines can get back to doing the good job that they were doing. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.